What it is, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video, and now I'll be reacting to what is this? 3 disturbing true horror stories. Okay, I'm not sure if I reacted to this already. I've seen other videos that had the same exact title, so I'm not sure. It didn't come up like I'd seen any of it before when I downloaded it. So if it did, we gonna look at it again. So anyway, let's get into this. I will put a link in the description down below so you can go check out. This is from Mr. Nightmare. You go check out his channel yourself. He's a really good narrator, horror stories. If you like watching it, me personally, I like watching and going to sleep. I don't know why, but then when it's late and I'm tired, I said, I'll put on I put on his videos and click click on one of his not his playlist, but like just uploads and just go through his videos and just watch it till I fall asleep, and then my PlayStation cut itself off after like 2 hours. But yeah. So like I said, I'll put a link in the description so you can go check them out yourself and be amazed. So anyway, you're here watching my video, so here we go. Story 1.
This happened in October 2019. My friends and I were in the military at the time, stationed in Colorado.
Oh,
We heard about this haunted
I wonder
road
if he's
called
at
River Road from one of our friends that was originally from Colorado.
Peterson.
There were several
Those are Air
different
Force
legends
Base.
about the road.
Peterson.
Like stories about a ghost jogger,
And there's
tapping
another
people's windows,
base
bloody
in
handprints
Peterson.
on road signs, Native American shapeshifters.
I mean, not in
ghostly
Peterson, but there's another
hitchhikers.
base
The list
in
really goes
Colorado,
on.
Air Force Base, and I think
The legend
other
that matters for this
National
story,
Guard
however,
bases,
is that
because
of the
I
Phantom
almost went
Camaro.
there in the National Guard. I
The
thought about
legend
it.
goes that
I
a
didn't
guy
do it
crashed on the
though.
road
I was in
back
reserve.
like the 60s or 70s.
I
As
thought
he was
about
going too fast down the road.
going
He
to
took a
the
lot of
Guard
twists
and
and
going to
turns on it,
Colorado.
and now he haunts the road trying to race people to their death. Anyway, my friend said he'd been there several times, but nothing ever happened. With it being October and all, the rest of my friends and I really wanted to go so that we could maybe experience something spooky. So we all went super late on a Sunday night, like 1 in the morning, so it was technically Monday morning, I guess. Anyway, there were 5 of us, to include myself, all in one car. My friend, who was a Colorado native, said he went to high school with a guy who died on the road, and the guy had a cross somewhere along the road. So since a couple of the guys had to pee anyway, we all pulled over where the cross was so that they could go off to pee somewhere while the rest of us looked at the cross. It was extremely dark outside and completely quiet aside from our footsteps in the grass and the words we exchanged. We were only standing outside for a couple minutes tops, before literally out of nowhere, this car races around the bend of the road and drives past us. One of my friends made a joke. "Oh, it must be the Camaro." We all laughed, but as the car completely passed
I don't
us,
see a damn thing
we
funny.
saw that the taillights were indeed that of a Camaro. At that moment, all of us scrambled back into the car, and by the time we were
All of us
outside and
became a
beginning to
bunch
drive
of
away,
punk
the Camaro
bitches
was
and
right
get back
behind
in the
us,
car.
following us.
Car that turned around.
This is fucking wild.
Yo.
I ain't gonna lie, I'd be a
Oh
little
my
scared too.
God.
I'd be like,
You guys scared?
This is how we died,
Yo,
dude.
I ain't fucking lying.
It matched the description of the legend perfectly. It was an old black Camaro with a busted headlight. My friend who was driving was freaking out, and rightfully so. We told her to just drive the speed limit, because the legend says if you try to speed, then you die. So we went the speed limit for the rest of the road with this Camaro riding our ass.
oh boy.
It was so close to us. The quote-unquote driver of the Camaro even turned off the headlights.
Oh
It was really
shit.
weird considering how dark it was outside.
Yeah.
And they could have easily hit us without
I've
being
seen
able to
that
see.
actually happen. Yeah.
As soon as we reached the
It's
end of
kinda
what was
scary.
considered Riverdale Road, and were about to turn off of it, the
Riverdale.
Camaro stopped and turned around and started back in the other direction.
Oh, I guess it's like I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know
kill
if
these
the death of
people.
Camaro is real or if the legend is based off some crazy person, but it was just weird how the car literally came out of nowhere. It was so silent outside. We would have heard it coming far sooner than when it came around the corner of the road.
Especially
Plus,
Camaro.
what kind of person would be out on this rural road at 1 in the morning on a Monday night? I don't know.
People
I personally believe in
traveling.
the paranormal, so I think it was a ghost. But I try not to push my beliefs onto other people.
Well, that's nice of you not to push your beliefs on other people. A lot of people need to follow that.
My name is Ben. This happened back in 2007 up in the high desert in California. Around this time, Highway 138 was under long-term construction. I lived in a town called Felon, where everything was spread so far apart it would take 15 to 20 minutes just to get to the nearest gas station or food joint. I went to high school up there and was a senior with a longtime girlfriend.
Oh,
She lived in
shit.
Wrightwood, which was a long drive from my house that meant crossing 2 highways. My mother would work long, tiring shifts and would sleep when she got home, so asking her was out.
Trying to
Said
sit
I would hitch a ride on my
better
girlfriend's bus
posture.
to her
I
house
need to
after school,
go ahead and get a
usually
chair
on
and
Friday
shit.
since no school the next day. Getting home was the issue, though, as it was 15 miles between our houses and I would be walking.
Ooh,
I had done the walk so many times I learned secret
That
pathways
sucks.
down the mountain through the desert that would cut my walk by an hour, though it usually meant being in the middle of nowhere. But the scariest thing to happen to me wasn't necessarily a
fucking
lonely
Rugger
desert
Howard
or the
picture
street.
comes a picture
I was
as
dumb and lazy and would sometimes hitchhike. I usually got picked up by parents of schoolmates who recognized me or something, but not often. One day I was walking. It was around 6 p.m. I believe, as the sun was fading, and a man named Charlie pulled up in a big red van.
man named
He asked if I
Rooker.
wanted a ride, and I said sure. As soon as I got in,
His name was
something
The
wrong.
Hitcher
He was twitchy and looked abnormally thin. His cheeks were sucked in. and
because
he
he
was
was a
exhausted from flying.
crackhead.
He stared at me for what felt like a long time. By the time I realized I was uncomfortable, the van was already moving down Highway 2.
So late.
He talked a lot, mentioning that he had a friend named Carlos. He talked about Carlos a
Fuck
lot,
Carlos.
and asked questions I couldn't possibly answer, like if I knew him, or if I liked his house and if he treats me well. I told him I don't know a Carlos. I realized at this point he wasn't taking me to Highway
This
138.
actually looks peaceful.
Normally when
This
someone
this
takes me,
ride
they go
here.
down Highway 2 to Highway 138. It was literally the only route you could take without going through the desert. When I asked about it, he told me too many cars are held up because of the construction, and he knew a quicker route through the desert.
Oh, fuck
He
you.
actually pulled through the route I usually took on foot, and my heart sank. I was about to end up alone in the desert with him. He continued to talk about Carlos as I searched for something to hold on to.
Fuck is
I found a small
Carlos?
screwdriver in his passenger door compartment and tucked it in my hand.
Okay, that's
He
you
mentioned that
you
I could
smart.
meet Carlos, and that he could get me a lot of money. I assured him I wasn't interested, but it was like he didn't hear me. He told me he was going to take me to meet him.
Oh,
Again, I told him I was fine and I was in high school and didn't need to make money. I looked outside.
that's a lie. I was in high
and
school.
the
I
area.
needed money.
There were a few houses in this part of the desert, just randomly thrown here and there. I'd walked past them before. He veered down one.
Desert
further
Park
away on its
Drive.
own. I knew he was going to take me there no matter what I said. He drove right through the open gate and parked. I heard endless howling of dogs as he pulled
This
up
dude
and
is
told me to
definitely
get
a
out to meet
crackhead.
Carlos. I was scared, and I could hear my breathing getting louder. I considered attacking him then, but I panicked. He got out, and I saw the full form that was Charlie. He was tall, at least 6'3", and definitely was tripping on something. He wobbled like a child trying to stand. He went around and opened my door, then started to yell. The house was a 2-story house, built well. For a desert house, it was clean and crisp, not the scary, rundown places you'd imagine. An average height guy came out. He was older, maybe in his 60s. He had white facial hair and a shaved head. He looked at me and didn't look away as he told Charlie to go inside, and he did. Carlos asked me what I wanted, and I said to go home, that he was giving me a ride. He stared at me and pointed to the gate and said to leave. I did. I walked to the gate.
You
As
think
soon
get
as I
the
felt safe,
fuck
I
out of
ran.
here.
I didn't stop. As soon as I could,
He just
I
like,
called the police on
this
my
motherfucker
prepaid
brought
Nokia and
another
told them
person
everything.
to my
So
goddamn
walked
house.
home and
Get
sat
the
on my bed.
fuck out.
I was stunned and didn't know what to do. The police never contacted me after that day. I didn't tell my mom or girlfriend. I didn't want them giving me grief for it. After all of it, I still took the bus to see her, but I made sure I had a secure ride home after, or at least learn the public bus schedules.
Why did you do that to
Never hitchhiked
begin with?
again, but I still
Unless you
remember
trying
how
to
hard
save
my heart
money.
was beating, and how scared I was of what could have happened.
I ain't hitchhiking unless I got guns or very, very sharp knife. I also have my retractable
When I
baton
was
with me
12,
though.
I had what I believe was the last sleepover of my life. It was at my friend Nick's grandma's house. She had a very old-fashioned house that, looking back at now, kind of gives me the creeps thinking about. I'd been over to it a couple times, but never slept over. His grandma had a spare bedroom with 2 twin beds, which is why it seemed perfect for a sleepover. There was also this park connected to the backyard where we played hide and seek during the day. As it got darker out, his grandma called us back inside for dinner. She made linguine and clam sauce. We begged her to let us go back outside after eating to play flashlight tag in the dark. She eventually allowed it. Since her backyard basically connects to the park, with the only barrier being a bunch of trees and no fence, the game area ranged from the backyard to a certain point in the park, past the trees. We started the game with it being my turn as the seeker. Basically, I just had to find Nick and aim my flashlight at him, and that would be considered catching him. I counted down from 30 to give him time to hide. Then I left his grandma's house through the back door to begin looking. I checked some of the obvious immediate hiding spots, like under the tables, behind the chairs, by the shed. It seemed the backyard was clear so far. I heard cracks coming from the direction of the trees in the front of the park. I shined my light over into the woods, revealing someone tall, covered from head to toe in what appeared to be a giant sheet.
Oh
As my light lit up the figure,
shit.
they turned to face me. I could tell because I could see 2 eye holes and a small mouth hole. What in the world was I looking at? I called out Nick's name, asking if that was him, though I didn't have any idea where he could have gotten that sheet all of a sudden. I didn't have too much time to wonder about that though, because Nick came out of the trees yelling at me to run inside the house. Whoever was under that sheet,
Nick, like, get the fuck out of
was
here.
to tell his grandma.
It's
His
like, get
response
the
was to lock all
fuck
the
out of here,
doors.
you stupid
She comforted
idiot.
us,
Get
telling
the
us we're
fuck
safe
out.
inside. However, later that night, when the 2 of us were in the spare bedroom downstairs, both in our respective beds, laying awake at like midnight just talking, we heard a couple thumps coming from upstairs. We looked at each other and wondered if that could be his grandma, whose bedroom was upstairs after all. We figured that's what it probably was, forgot about it, and
Fucking
eventually fell asleep.
skinwalker, that's what it was.
The next morning, Nick's grandma knocked on the guest bedroom door and came in. It was like 8 in the morning, and she was asking us which of us opened the window in the other spare bedroom upstairs and let all the cold air in. We said neither of us, but she didn't believe us. So she had us follow her up to the bedroom. She seemed quite angry. She pointed at the wide open window. Still, we said neither of us did it. Then she went to the bed and asked, "What's this?" As she picked up a dirty-looking crumpled-up sheet thrown on the bed. She smelt it and was taken aback by its apparently horrible smell.
Oh boy.
I said, "Wait," and asked her to lay the sheet flat on the bed. She did so, and that's when I saw the 3 holes in the sheet, the eye holes and the mouth hole. That's when Nick and I knew and told her about the person in the trees under the sheet. She immediately had us leave the house with her to go next door, where she called the police. When the police showed up, 2 of them searched the house while my grandma stayed out front with a 3rd police officer. There was nobody found inside the house, but the method of entry was very easy to figure out. Whoever it was jumped off a railing in the backyard onto the awning, where they were able to easily open the window and climb in.
Damn, they went through all that.
Nothing appeared to be stolen or broken. Thank God I didn't have to stay there another night, nor did Nick. In fact, his parents had his grandma stay with them for a few days just in case. I think the scariest part would be worrying that whoever it was never left the house, and that the police might have overlooked their hiding spot.
I think that's it, yeah, that's it. That's always scary to me. Ever since I started watching like videos like this, I check my like laundry room and my I don't really check my crawl space, but the little area that my furnace is in, I check that because someone could potentially hide in there. Like, it's not a lot of room, but someone could in a hurry like hide behind like the furnace or something like that. So I always check that just to be. Oh, since I check the area like above the my laundry room, where like the tile, not tiles, but like what are those things you see them in schools, like This is like a little like rectangular look. Why am I forgetting this shit? But it's like up there, and there's a few places where they don't, where I don't have them up there, but someone could. Even though I don't think that could support someone's weight, but still, I like to look up there just in case. Ever since I started watching these videos. But yeah, that would be scary. Like if I think like, oh, maybe the police didn't look as thoroughly as I think they should. So I'm like, I'm going to leave this house and take everything out of it, or at least the food and stuff. So I'm like, well, there's nothing here for them unless they just want shelter, but there's nothing here for them to eat or anything. So eventually they will leave. But that is like I'm these stories, like I look at my food. Like I've actually before like marked my food to see if someone is drinking other than me. Like to see like, okay, it was here, has it gone down any since the last time I drank out of it, I don't know, maybe I'm just cautious or superstitious. Because I've seen some of these stories where people said like, oh yeah, some homeless person snuck into my house and they were in my house for like 2 weeks or 2 months and stuff like that. I'm like, no. Like one thing, I think I would smell them unless they are, excuse me, are like taking a shower or something when I'm not here. But no, that can't be. Like no. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my reaction. One of you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell where you want to be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.